Hello everybody, I'm Yvette of Uniquely Yvette. Welcome to my channel or welcome back. This week I'm making 4 mini projects all in one video. Maybe 4 because one of them is, wow, I'm not happy with it. I might show it, depends on how I feel when I'm editing this video. I hope that you will find something that will inspire you, that you will like, that you will just enjoy watching me create. But let's not dilly-dally. Let's get into the video.
Okay, this first project is going to be extremely simple. We have this piece of scrap wood. We have this bunch of material here, this plaid material. And we have a template for a pumpkin. And we're going to use this carbon paper to put this design on this piece of scrap wood. Now that we have the whole pumpkin drawn onto the piece of wood, and these 3 panels are here, here, and here, we're going to move to the scroll saw to cut them all out. Now that we have all the pieces cut out and sanded, we're going to move these parts to the side and focus on this main piece of the pumpkin. You could paint this main body of the pumpkin, you know, any color, orange, burnt orange, whatever you want to. I've decided, since I have this mountain of green paint, I'm going to go ahead and paint it with this color. Okay, now that I've painted all the sides of all the pieces, I'm going to cover these 3 smaller pieces with this material. So I've cut them out using my rotary cutting tool. And I'm going to use this Mod Podge with a paintbrush to glue them on, like this. And we'll try to get the plaid line straight. I make no guarantees, I never do. So when that dries, I'll cut the edges of it off, see, and cut off the excess. Once the Mod Podge is off, we're going to take off all the excess like I've done here, and I'm not finished with this yet. But what you'll do is turn it over, take your rotary cutting tool, and just run along the edges. Just keep doing it until all the excess is off. Okay, so with the excess material removed, you'll take a 120 grit sandpaper and just go along the edges to clean up even more of the excess material. Alright, now that we have all of this material on and all the pieces ready, we're going to glue these to the main body. So I'll add some hot glue. Hope for the best. It's hard to do upside down. And I hope you can see. There, that looks amazing. Now we have these wood stems that I want to put on the top. Okay, I cut this stem into 2 pieces. I think I'm going to take and glue it on. It's not a perfect location, but it's okay. And then let's put a little twine on here. Let's go ahead and tie this twine into a bow, something like that. Do this, and we'll glue it on. And I wonder if I should use some of this little grassy stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe much less, I don't know. Maybe I should have put the grassy stuff on first, but I think I will use it. Ouch! That hurts. There we go. And that's our little pumpkin. That is so cute. Since we have more of this material, so much more, I thought, why not do another project with using some of it? So we have this little owl, and I'm going to use this material on some parts of him. So let's get started with him. The body of the owl will be on this thick piece of wood here, and a slightly thinner piece of wood will be used for all the other pieces of him, his wings, his beak, and his eyes. Okay, I've got everything sanded, the eyes, the wings, the beak, and I've cut out material to cover each of these things, like this. Now, but first I'm going to stain this back body part. So I'm going to move these things aside. And then we're going to stain this body. And I'm using dark walnut for the color. Now I'm going to use this Mod Podge glue to glue the material on each of the pieces here. I'm using a generous amount to make sure I get all parts. I actually should have painted the sides first, but I forgot. So just do it like this. I'm not sure if I'm painting or staining the sides, probably staining. Now we're going to let that dry, and then we'll cut off the excess. Actually, I need to cut in here. For the edges, I just take this sandpaper and just scrape along the edges. It will scrape off the excess material as if it's just cutting it in the middle, and do like this and cut it that way. Eventually it'll cut off the excess. We finally got all these pieces ready. Now I did cut these off shorter, thinner, because I felt like they were too thick. Unfortunately, when I do that, I cause myself to have some that are thicker than the others. Like these two eyes are two different thicknesses, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So the next thing to do is to glue these pieces onto the face of the owl. And now we're going in the center here with black paint to emphasize these eyes. Now I'm going to use this antique parchment color to try to give a little bit more definition to his eyes. And I've been calling this owl he all this time, but I think I'm going to add this little bow and make him a her. Now just put that up there like that. And there she is. And that is our finished little owl. We had this big miles long flea market this weekend, and the only thing I found to buy was this little mini cutting board for $1. So I'm going to try to do something with this. Now we're going to tape up the edges and paint the edges. So I went ahead and painted all along the edges green and completed the whole top green. It didn't really matter because I'm going to cover this part with rope. I also painted the sides. And now I'm going to, like I said, use rope. I'm going to start it here. With some hot glue. Let's start it down here. I'm not sure. I'm just winging it here, as usual. Okay. I hope that was dry. Alright, so then we're going to start wrapping it around. I'm just going to put a dot in here to hold it. See if I can get it on the top, I'm not sure. Then cut the end. Okay, I'm trying a second time to get these words onto this piece. And I'm not going to try to do it exactly the way this font is because that was hideous the first time through. I'm just going to do the best I can. Alright, that's how I'm doing it. I hope you can see that. It's not even in the center, but I'm not going to fight with it. I'm not sure which color I want to use on here, whether I want to use chestnut or if I want to use this brown or even if I want to use black. I don't know. I'm just going to go with chestnut for now. Let's add on this sunflower. I did have it on there previously, but I just took it off because I messed up the writing. So we'll just put it on here like this. And then I have this little baby pinecone I'm going to put on here somewhere, maybe here like this. And I'm not exactly happy with this one, but for our last project we have these apple slices that are drawn onto this wood. So we're going to cut out these 3 pieces on this scrap wood and we'll move over to the scroll saw to get those cut out. And here are our 3 apples. So I'm going to paint one with candy apple red. This one is going to be scallion colored. And this one will be light yellow. I'm going to do the sides with the color and a little border. Let's move this aside. And a little border around these edges. Like that. Looks good. Now let's do the other two. Now that our apples are dry, we can paint the seeds. I'm going to see what I think of my paint pen for this because it gives me greater control. The question is whether it'll work okay. Yeah, it's working great. I have 3 pieces of dowel here. I cut it on a slant at one end and straight-ish on the other. And I'm going to paint them black, and I'm going to glue one of these stems to the top of this apple. I'll take the slanted end and put the glue on there and then glue it slanted. I'm trying to put it somewhere toward the center of the top of the apple. I'll hold it there for a minute until it gets dry. And that's that one. Repeats the same thing. Hopefully it's dry enough. I think if the paint isn't dry enough, the hot glue will not do its job. That looks okay. We'll do the last one. This one doesn't have as much of a slant. But it's okay. Now the final touch for these apples is to put this fake leaf on here. This is all stuck together as one. I'm just going to cut them apart and hopefully still work. I hope. Okay. And I'll just let's see. I'll just try to glue it. Let's see where. Like this maybe. Let's just throw it in the corner here. Like this. There's one. It looks good. Let's see. Let's put it on this side. Just mash it in there. And this one. Put it on this side. And that's it. And that's our cute little apples. They can sit up by themselves. Apple slices. Aren't they the cutest? They are the cutest. And they're painted on the back.
cute in the front.
That's it. That's my projects, guys. Here's the cutting board one, and the most adorable, the apples. To the little pumpkin, that's adorable. And slip on around the other side, and there's our little owl girl. Thanks for watching. See you next time.